Hey, how are you guys doing? All right. Again, I'm excited about this training. I feel like this is a continuation of what I've been sharing over the last couple weeks around really rewiring the body to be an ally in our own expansion. And I want to go a little deeper today. I want to bring in the nervous system really into it, and I want to bring in the biochemistry of the body, which is not something we talk a lot about. So I'm going to share with you essentially how to expand your identity, your nervous system, your biochemistry to exponentially increase what you have the capacity to create, to receive, to hold in your life, in your work, in your business, in your leadership, in your income, and your capacity to do so from a real place of joy and ease. Because in the end, that's what matters, right? The freedom, the sweetness, the nourishment that we get from our lived experience. So today I'm going to go over the principles as well as the process. I'm actually going to give you a 3-part process to repair and recalibrate your nervous system and your biochemistry for expansion, like kind of like at a cellular level, and how to anchor your identity in the expanded state so that you can make sure that in the end, your nervous system, your brain, your energy level, like the way your mood, your state, all of that is an ally and a partner instead of a saboteur on your journey to peace, to joy, to wealth. Nervous system work at its core is really about rewiring our entire neurocircuitry for the results that we desire. It's about normalizing the results we want in our bodies so that we don't get triggered or overwhelmed when things start to shift and by our expansion, and we don't sabotage it. In many ways, this is the secret of regulated and normalized expansion. And this is what gets people. A lot of the time, like when I will get a client who will come in and say to me, I usually get 2 different kinds of client. I either get a client where it feels like the flow is blocked. Like no matter what they do, they can't seem to up-level their income, nothing's working. And oftentimes that will come from a time in the past where they might have had a big expansion, whether it was an internal expansion or actually an external expansion, and the whole thing felt like too much. And so their capacity shrunk and they went into what I call a freeze response in regards to expansion. So they're blocking the flow, both their internal flow and their external flow. The other kind of clients I get are clients who essentially are creating results, but they're not loving it. Everything feels hard, everything feels draining. And so because of that, they're really not only blocking their flow to receiving more, but they're also kind of creating oftentimes patterns of self-sabotage because something in them doesn't actually love their success. So what we're going to really work on here today is that regulated and normalized expansion. And as I stated, I'm going to give you 3 simple keys that you can follow to rewire and prime your nervous system to become the most peaceful and powerful force in your life and to create the extraordinary results that you desire from this place of sweetness, from this place of nourishment and ease. All right, before I go into that, I want to introduce myself in case you don't know me. Hi, I'm Ilsa. I'm a total spiritual nerd. I'm a bookworm. I'm a dog mama. I'm an animal and nature lover. Please feel free to say hi to me. I will come back and say hi to you. And if you find this training helpful, insightful, please share it. That would mean a lot to me. Professionally, for the last 20 years or so, I have worked as an expansion expert, a psychologist or psychotherapist, and a strategist for purpose-driven entrepreneurs and leaders. I essentially help my clients rewire their nervous system, their brains, their bodies, their energy, and their work so that they can move past any kind of limits that is sabotaging their growth and create consistent, really deeply satisfying results, as well as great money from this place of ease and joy. So, all my work is basically focused on two things: emotional freedom or emotional mastery, and financial freedom. Because to me, these two things are like the two wings of a bird. You need both to take off, to soar, and to be truly free. So that's my work in a little nutshell. And I'll go into more detail at the end, but if you'd like to do some deep rewiring and expansion work with me and learn kind of how to hack your brain, hack your nervous system, hack your energy level and your daily routine so you never doubt and sabotage yourself, so you never stay stuck in procrastination and overwhelm, and so that you're able to attain a good degree of that self mastery I was talking about, as well as reach your goals without all that friction and push energy, then I would love to work with you. And we can get started with that by just doing a free enrollment conversation where I'm going to go over my work. I'm going to share different options on how to work together. I'm going to answer all your questions. And then together, we'll kind of figure out what's the best package for you based on your needs, your goals, your budget, all of that. I have something almost for everybody because part of my value is I want the work I do to be accessible and transformational to as many people as possible. So the way to get that started is there's going to be a link to book that free call in the description of this training. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I'm looking at my notes, making sure I have everything I need. So for us to create the sustainable and satisfying results that we desire in our life, in our relationships, in our careers, we essentially have to shift the ingrained negativity bias of our brain and the nervous system armoring and inertia that we've been conditioned for. And when we start to do that, we're shifting also, by extension, we start to change the biochemical makeup of our body. What I mean by that is almost like you're shifting out of an internal weather, like you're shifting your own weather system from gray and gloomy, maybe even stormy, to a sweet, sunny summer day where everything's possible, everything's joyful and easeful. And then the extension of that, like, so as your brain changes, as your nervous system changes, as your biochemistry changes, then your energy, your vitality start to shift. Your vitality is literally restored. Like, most of us don't realize that we're actually almost like moving through life on fuels, that there's a lot of locked up energy inside our body because of all the contraction we are experiencing, because of the chemical cocktail that our body is flooded with. But when you start to rewire all of that, recalibrate all of that, then your vitality is restored and renewed, and our energetic availability and our capacity really starts to increase. So that's kind of the aim of all this work. We're teaching your nervous system and your body to come out of this armoring, this bracing, this sense of overwhelm and constriction, back to a sense of safety, openness, receptivity, optimistic expansion. And we're wanting to make that kind of the foundation that from which you move in your life. This shift back to that optimistic expansion, that sense of safety, is literally the foundation of anything good that you're going to create in your life and in your work, in your business. Without that foundation, you will limit yourself, you will limit what you can create and receive, and you will actually sabotage your growth and your process because literally everything within you is closed off. Like the metaphor I use sometimes is if your fist is closed off, like how much money can you receive? How easy is it for somebody to hold your hand and support you? It's not. Like you need to unclench and actually be able to open to receive what's potentially already here for you or already on its way. Whether that is money, whether that's support, it doesn't really matter. So the path to success always starts with shifting your identity, not only on a mental and emotional level, but also on a biochemical, neurocircuitry, cellular, and energetic level, so that you can start to really create and receive at a much higher level of ease and enjoyment. So you're not only, and I'm going to talk about this later, but you're not only receiving and creating at a much higher level in terms of the quantity, but the level of ease and enjoyment in the process is also expanded. So what I'm saying here is that you can't just upgrade your thinking. You can't just think positive thoughts. You can't just be anchored in possibilities, although all of those things are powerful. You literally have to upgrade your body and become a new expanded version of you, all the way down deep into your cells, your bones. And that is what starts to transform your capacity and give you the ability to show up and create and receive in a much bigger way. If we don't do this work at the cellular level, at the biochemical level, what happens is that your inner circuitry, your inner weather, will always bring you back down to your current level because that's the level that you're used to. And even though consciously you might want more, you might want not only a bigger experience, but a better experience at a nervous system level, at a biochemical level. Your current level, where you're at, is actually what you're calibrated for. It's what feels safe. It's what feels comfortable. It's what feels like you're capable and ready and available for. So when we shift all of that, we literally become a different person. And so as you shift your identity, you shift your chemistry, you shift your personality, you're going to automatically start to shift your external and lived experience. You're going to exponentially increase what you have the capacity to create, to receive, and to hold. Here's the thing to understand when it comes to the role of the nervous system. Your nervous system literally is the conductor. It always defines your upper limit, how much you get to receive and have, and also how much ease and enjoyment you get to experience in the process of achieving what you want. So your nervous system conducts and defines everything. It defines, which is why I talk about my work in terms of nervous system work, because your nervous system essentially is the imprint of your belief system and how you think. It defines your biochemistry or the inner weather of your body. It defines whether you are, for those of you who are in Europe, this might not make sense, but it defines whether you are Miami, which is warm and sunny, or whether you are, I don't know, Seattle, which is kind of like cold and rainy and gray. Although, no offense to you people in Seattle. I know Seattle's a beautiful, beautiful place. And as a Florida girl myself, I don't know. I might pick Seattle over Miami. Anyways, I digress. So Your nervous system is the conductor. It defines your beliefs about yourself, about what's possible. It defines how you think. It defines your biochemistry, aka your mood, your state, your inner weather. Um, it defines your upper limit and your capacity to receive and hold, both in terms of quantity but also quality. Your nervous system literally defines how your brain views and experiences the world, yourself, and what is possible. It kind of determines your reality. It determines whether your reality is a really cold, dreary winter day, or whether your reality is an easy, breezy, warm summer day. The other thing that nervous system affects is it affects your DNA. And I believe, I don't have actually any clear scientific proof of this, but I believe that when you start to do nervous system work at its depth, you literally activate dormant genes, like genes that you might need to embody and live a completely new paradigm in your life. Did you know that like something like 95% or more of our DNA is actually dormant? Like you literally have a treasure trove of gifts, of abilities, of genius within you that has yet to be activated or tapped into. And nervous system expansion work, by shifting your belief system, by shifting your biochemistry, by re anchoring you in safety, literally starts to activate pieces of yourself, pieces of your identity, of your personality that you need to succeed, and that you need to succeed with ease. That's why I believe that resetting and expanding your nervous system is literally the gateway, not just to that sense, that deep sense of safety, but also to self mastery and sovereignty. The fun thing, too, about this is that these new genes, once they've been activated, can be passed on to future generations, or they can even be awakened in people around you through what is called mirror neurons, which is why, like, you will hear that too with nervous system, like co-regulation. Like, when your nervous system is in a real place of expansion and you've activated aspect of yourself that were dormant before, literally people, by just being in your space, being in your presence, start to co-regulate and start to match you. So they start to become in a really relaxed and expansive place, and they start to awaken their own genius within themselves, which is why nervous system work, at least the work I do with nervous system, is such a powerful process for any of us who are practitioners, leaders, facilitators. It changes our sales. It changes how we hold clients and the results that we create with clients. So it's not just about you being able to receive more, although, that's important, but it's actually about you being able to change the world and the future of the people in your sphere simply by your own presence. As you can tell, I'm pretty excited. It's one of the things that really fuels my love for this work and my desire to share it. So when you prime your nervous system for the results you want and you start to normalize what you desire in your body ahead of time, a lot of the resistance, a lot of the friction, a lot of the doubt, the overwhelm, the sabotage, and even the need to sacrifice yourself and work really hard for what you want, all of that starts to melt off. It starts to dissolve naturally. So what I want to do now is I want to take you through these 3 keys. Technically, this has been my long-ass introduction. And now I want to take you through these 3 simple keys, or these 3 simple steps of really rewiring and priming your nervous system to be the most powerful conductor and to help you completely shift your belief system, your biochemistry, and help you become the most powerful force and the most peaceful force in your life and in your work. So let's do it. The first thing that we do, that I do with clients, the first thing you want to focus on is you always want to bring yourself back to the present moment and reclaim safety over and over and over. When I work with clients, I have different ways of doing that. But I'm going to give you something you can work with on your own. Here's the truth. 99% of the time, anxiety, overwhelm, the sense that something's wrong comes from our mind traveling either back to the past or towards the future. Almost all the time, when we come back to the present moment, we realize that we're okay and we're safe. And safety is always primary. Nothing else is possible if you don't first feel safe. Safety is the foundation of sovereignty. And teaching your nervous system and your brain to recognize and to realize over and over and over that right now, in this exact moment, all is well and that you are safe is essential. If you don't find that ground of safety, you will limit your potential and your ability to grow from the get-go. Essentially, expansion, thriving, money, flow, all those things we want, freedom, they all ripple out and emerge out of safety. Safety is the foundation to capacity, to self-mastery, to sovereignty, to expansion, to money. It's the foundation for everything you desire. And that's true in your own life, in your relationships, as well as in your career. So you can't, I like to tell people, like, you can't create expansion from contraction. Just like you can't create abundance from scarcity or lack. Or you can't create an amazing future by being at war with the present. Like, essentially, the seed you plant defines the fruit you're going to get. So you can't bring yourself, if you can't bring yourself out of contraction, out of that sense of armoring and bracing, then you can't bring yourself into expansion. And if you don't feel safe, you can't do any of it. So the first step is always to become aware of the signs of contraction and dysregulation in your body, whether that's racing thoughts, shallow breathing, a sense of heaviness or drain, a sense of overwhelm and anxiety in your system, maybe a pit in the center of your stomach, a tightness in your chest or in your throat, whatever essentially contraction looks like and feels like to you. We're all a little different. So that's your first step, is to notice, how do I know when I'm in contraction? And next, how do I become aware that I'm in contraction? And the moment you become aware that you're in contraction, you get to stop. You get to stop, you get to come back to right now, to right here. You get to come home to you. And then you want to ask yourself this question, or something like this question. In this very moment, am I actually okay? In this very moment, am I safe? And I mean in this very moment. I don't mean, am I safe and okay in 5 minutes? Am I safe and okay next week or next month? Because if you give the mind too much space and time, I guarantee you the mind is a genius at creating problems that don't exist. So the question is really about bringing all your energy, all your thoughts back to this very instant. Right now, am I okay? Am I safe? And the answer is going to be yes, 99% of the time. Like, even if, I'm not like, obviously, if you're in a war zone, which there are many people in our world who are, more than likely, and this is the truth of it, if you're watching this, you're not in a war zone. If you're watching this, you are privileged. You have a phone or a computer or a tablet to watch this training from. So there's a good chance you got food in your belly, you've got some kind of roof over your head, and you've got some kind of access to technology, which lets me know that more than likely, right in this instant, you are okay and you are safe. And so, what you want to do is you want to ask this question. You want to come back to the truth that you are okay and you are safe right now. And you want to breathe in that truth. You want to breathe in that yes, slowly and deeply for a minute. You want to let the sense and the knowing that you are safe and okay right now. You want to let that sense and that knowing flow and ripple and steep in your body, literally percolate through your body. And so as you're doing that, like, am I safe? Am I okay right now? Feel the ground of safety. I call it the unwavering ground of safety underneath you. Anchor in that support, anchor in that safety. And you essentially do this, you repeat this process until it's almost like leashing a dog and training a dog to come back. This is a terrible metaphor. But like if you're teaching a dog to heel, no, don't go all the way over there. Don't be all the way over back. When we're walking, you're walking by me. This is what you're doing with your brain and your thoughts. No, we're not going into the future. We're not going into past. We're coming back home here, and we're literally resting in the truth of safety in this moment. When you do this over and over, your mind will calm and start to anchor in trust and a sense of support. Your breathing will slow and your body will start to relax and open. And what's really powerful, just even about this first step, is that if you're truly in a place where there's a bunch of shit going on in your life, then when you anchor yourself in this unwavering ground of safety, literally that's when the blood is able to flow away from your amygdala and all the fear parts of your brain back into your frontal cortex. You're in an expanded place. Your genius is able to flow. Your ability to think both from your left brain and your right brain and to see things from multiple perspectives is able to flow. And that's actually when you're able to see opportunities and answers and to see pathway forward that you were not able to see when you were in contraction, potentially a minute or two before. If you and I work together, or when you and I work together, I will teach you a practice that I have created that literally dissolves and eradicates fear. It helps regulate the nervous system while re-anchoring you in that unwavering ground of safety and in a place of expansion so that you can feel that deep sense of peace, of trust, of possibility, and you can start to move from that sense of expansion rather than move from contraction. This practice literally, I have a number of them, but this particular one that I'm thinking about works with everyone. I've never met someone who can't literally come back to a sense of safety and regulation and expansion in potentially 5 minutes or less, potentially a minute. I can do it in less than a minute at this point. But until I have the opportunity to teach that to you, then do this. Stop when you're in contraction, come back home to you, come back home to right now, to right here, and ask the simple question: in this very moment? Am I actually okay? Am I actually safe? And take in that truth. Let it seep in your body. Let the sense of safety like go deep into your whole being, and do it over and over. And when you do that, you are going to start to interrupt the habit of your brain, of your mind, of borrowing the problems of the past and the potential problems of the future. And you're going to be able to bring your nervous system, your brain, out of their negativity bias. And when you do this, literally, you're going to start to rewire your whole self, including your biochemistry. And you're rewiring all of you for a new paradigm of safety, a paradigm where all is well, a paradigm where there's nothing to worry about and there's no problem to fix. There's no catastrophe to brace against that's on the horizon. This anchoring into the unwavering ground of safety is the beginning of shifting your cellular memory and your cellular makeup from winter to summer. So that's the first one, safety. Once you've regulated your nervous system and you've kind of primed yourself with that sense, that unwavering sense of safety, then we start step 2, or second pathway here to this rewiring and recalibration process. And that's where you want to start to entangle all the conditioning and the wounding of the past that are still defining how you see yourself, how you see life, and how you show up in the present. This process of untangling those wounds, those traumas, that conditioning, I call providing the missing experience. You're essentially providing all the wounded parts of yourself what they needed to feel whole, to feel worthy, to feel supported, to feel safe. And so for us to feel all of that, that freedom, that readiness, that sense of being whole, worthy, capable, we have to go back and discover what is it that we might have needed and missed out on, both in our childhood, but also in your adult life, to kind of be at peace, to feel confident. Like, what were you needing from others, from the world, in these moments of wounding, of conditioning, of trauma, so that you could feel at peace, you could feel confident, so that you could feel able to move through life from this unwavering and absolute sense of trust and calm certainty. Now, these missing experiences are unique to each of us. And when I work with clients one-on-one, we discover like every experience tends to have its own unique, like every wound, every trauma, every sense of conditioning that you have experienced, they have their own unique missing experience that you needed to be free and liberated from that. That being said, and that's something I explore with clients one-on-one. That being said, I have found 5 core missing experiences that come back over and over. And these 5 core missing experiences are: 1, the first one is the unconditional permission to be ourselves exactly as we are. Essentially knowing that we have the right to exist and that we're going to be accepted being exactly ourselves. Feeling the way we feel, doing what we're doing, thinking the way we think. That's the first one. The second missing experience is unconditional love. We want to know that we will be loved no matter what. So essentially, we want to know that if we show up exactly as we are, that we will be loved. The third missing experience is unconditional support. So knowing that no matter what, no matter who we are, no matter what we do, no matter how we feel, that we won't have to go at it alone, that we will be supported, that there will be somebody who has our back, that we will not be abandoned or rejected, and that there will be this sense of belonging and having someone else to help us figure shit out. So that's the third one, unconditional support. And it's a huge one for entrepreneurs and leaders, especially you, those of you who are deeply ambitious. Oftentimes you suck at receiving support and you don't trust support because there wasn't enough support growing up, or support came at a cost or turned in some way. So that's a really important one that comes back over and over and helps really mitigate overwhelm or confusion, or even that sense of freeze where we don't know how to get unstuck. The fourth missing experience is unconditional pride. Another way of looking at this is praise or acknowledgement of our value. Essentially, we want to know that no matter the outcome, no matter how we feel, no matter who we are, we matter. We are seen. We are valued. We are acknowledged. And you see that in kids when they're like, Mama, look at what I did. Look at my drawing. Look at me doing this. Like this need for us to really feel seen and praised. And then the last and final missing experience, most of us need to anchor into a sense of unconditional trust. For us to feel really free, really daring to be ourselves, daring to want what we want, to go after what we want, daring to be big, we have to sense that no matter what it seems like in the moment, no matter what's going on, in the end, everything's going to work out for us. So these are the 5 core missing experiences on top of the unique ones that each person has. The unconditional permission to be yourself and to exist exactly as you are. Unconditional love and the knowing that you're going to be loved being yourself. Unconditional support, knowing that you never have to go at this alone and that you're never going to be abandoned or rejected. Unconditional pride and praise and acknowledgement of who you are and how hard you work and everything you do and everything you are, like a sense of being seen and being acknowledged that you matter. And then unconditional trust, knowing that no matter what, in the end, it's working. It's all working for me. Once you provide yourself these key missing experiences, now remember, this is step 2. So we've got this foundation of safety already. And now we're going back and we're providing providing these missing experiences to all the parts of us who feel small, who feel abandoned, who feel betrayed, who feel afraid, who feel not good enough. When you provide all these parts of you, these key missing experiences, it's like you start to open like a flower blooming. All those parts of you that have been in contraction, all those parts of you that have been stuck in conditioning, in old rules, in feelings not good enough, and feeling broken, they start to really anchor in that safety. And they start to feel that permission, to feel that love, to feel that sense of support and praise, and to feel that trust, and they bloom. And when these parts of ourselves open, there's a magic that's held within them, that's been held hostage in the contraction, in the knot. But when they start to bloom and open, they release that magic back to us. So that's also pieces when I said, remember I said, like, when you shift your nervous system and you shift the way your brain is thinking and you shift your biochemistry, you literally unlock your energy. You like you restore your life force in some way. This is where your life force is held, and all the wounding, all the conditioning, all the traumas that are still like stuck inside you in a part of you that doesn't feel ready to let it go. So, in that openness, you start to feel safe being you. You start to dare to go after what you want, and you start to feel safe receiving more. In that openness, you become able to access your own wisdom, your own potential, your own power, and to trust both in yourself and in life. And from that trust, from that power, from that potential, you start to be able to create and receive from a completely new place of flow, of ease, of joy. When you're doing that, when you're healing that past, you're blooming, you're creating, you're essentially providing that missing experience. You start to shift from what was and even what is to what is possible. So, as we're providing ourselves with these missing experiences, we're literally transforming who we are being. And that transformation starts to ripple across every aspect of yourself. This is also the continuation of shifting your cellular makeup and shifting your inner weather, your experiential weather from winter to summer. So as you're doing this work, it slowly starts to transform all of you, like the way you think, the way you feel and experience life, how you walk and move, like your posture and your authority. It starts to shift the chemistry and the hormones in your body, that internal biochemistry. It starts to shift how you lead, how you show up. And it starts to shift what you dare to expect and go after and what you have the capacity to receive. So providing yourself with these missing experiences heals your past. It releases old limited identity, and it allows you to start to step into being that expanded person that you were born to be. And then you can start to live and create from that place, from that actualized potential. So that's number 2. Number 1, ground of safety. Number 2, healing the past by providing all the missing experience and essentially making all the parts of you who feel small, not enough, wounded, providing them with what they need so that they can start to bloom and release your power and your life force back to you and be partners in your growth and start to feel worthy. Start to feel worthy, start to feel safe, start to feel loved, start to feel excited about what's possible. And then we come into the third level of transformation. So once you feel safe being you and being here, and your nervous system has been primed for that new elevated identity, then you're really ready to start working on your receiving paradigm. Essentially, really starting to shift the capacity of your nervous system to be able to not only increase the quantity of what you can create, receive, and hold, but also the quality of your receivership. And I talked about this a little bit right at the beginning of our training. Essentially, your ability not only to allow more in, but your ability to allow it all to be easy, to be peaceful, to be joyful, to be nourishing, rather than creating and achieving, having to feel stressful, lengthy, like a whole lot of hard work, like you need to sacrifice yourself or what matters more for your results. Which, by the way, is something I'm very familiar with. The more I rewire myself for ease, for flow, for nourishment in the process of achievement, the easier it becomes to create and hold more. more visibility for myself, more clients, more money, more support. That's our big work. We must rewire our nervous system and our brain to not bypass the good, to not bypass pleasant experience, to start to feel safe with them, to trust them, to really allow ourselves to take them in and to savor them, to steep in them. And the reason we want to do that is because we want the good. We want ease, we want joy, we want nourishment to become expected and normalized in our body. You see, your nervous system and your brain expect things to be hard, to not go well. Literally, your nervous system and your brain have been conditioned, they've been wired, they've been programmed to watch out for and to focus on what's wrong, what's broken, what could go wrong, what's not working. We're all like that, by the way. It's literally what has kept us alive as a species. Like, all our ancestors are the kind of humans who did not trust that there wasn't a saber-toothed tiger hiding in the bushes. The kind of humans at the beginning of time when humans were emerging and evolving, the kind of humans who enjoyed ease and would luxuriate on a big boulder and take in the sun, those guys got eaten. They didn't get to procreate a whole lot more. Literally everything in us is wired for contraction, is wired to scan and plan for things going wrong. And to some degree, that as a species has served us well. When you think about it, we got no fur, we got no heavy skin, we got no claws, we got no teeth. We are here because we are smart, and we're here because we are armored and always thinking about what could go wrong. That's the only reason we're still here as a species. So I'm not knocking it, except this is also the same pattern that is, at this juncture in our evolution, tremendously limiting. Limiting. It's what's really limiting us, both on a personal level and on a collective level. So, and we're so wired for the bad that literally most of us feel weary when things are too simple, too easeful, or too sweet. It's like something in us automatically, when things are too easy, something dismisses it, doesn't trust it, because it literally feels too good to be true. So through this work, you're actually unwinding thousands and thousands and thousands of years of conditioning, and you're reteaching your whole system from your cell on out to learn to trust, to learn to welcome, to learn to celebrate what's working, and to learn to expect ease, positivity, and the good. That's true in terms of your identity and your personality, but it's also true in terms of your body. We are so used to winter that it's like our cells and like our whole system is like wearing ski gear. And so I want you to imagine, like, if you took all your cells and they're all wearing ski gear and you suddenly transported them to a sunny, warm beach. That's it, Florida in the summer. That warmth feels uncomfortable. It's not that there's anything wrong with the warm. We all want to. Like, first, I live in Colorado, where the winters are quite cold. The entire winter, I am dreaming of going to the beach, of being in a sundress or whatever it may be. We want summer. We want warmth and sweetness and ease. but everything in us is dressed for winter. And so when we encounter summer, we resist it. We balk against it. We brace against it. We push against it. We sabotage it because we're not used to it. It feels uncomfortable. Or we do that at least until we learn to take the layers of conditioning and fear off. Until our cells start to remove the ski gear. And then it's okay to just relax and enjoy the waves. So the more you take time to steep in ease, in trust, in joy, in pleasant experiences, the more those layers of winter start to fall off and you start to shift your biochemistry, your cellular makeup. It's almost like, this is another metaphor, like steeping cloth in dye. So like you steep white cloth in dye, let's say in blue dye. You take it out, then you wash it, then you dry it, and it's very light blue. Then you steep it in dye and you repeat the process, and you do this until the fabric is completely blue. And it doesn't matter almost as much how much you wash it, it never goes back to being white. You have literally, like over time, you have changed the fundamental fabric of cloth. That's what happens to you when you start to really steep and savor positive experiences. You are changing the fabric of who you are. From your cells to your brain, to your nervous system, to your personality, to your perspective, and to your lived experience. You are actually becoming summer. You are becoming summer. It reminds me, one of my favorite quotes by Albert Camus, and I think it goes something like this. In the midst of winter, I discovered within me an invisible summer. In the midst of winter, I discovered within me an invincible summer. That's what is inside you. When all of you is in expansion, there is an invincible summer inside you. When you hit that summer, it's safety, capacity, self-mastery, sovereignty, money, joy, vitality, energy, health. A lot of the time I focus on leadership and money because that's the work I do. But the truth is, my client work with me, so many other things in their lives change. Their resilience, their sex lives, their aches and pains and joint stuff and body stuff, shit starts to fall away. Their relationships start to shift. Everything that you experience in your life is directed to this and can be shifted through this process, through this work. So this is the work of this third part. Actively start looking for beauty. Start to celebrate things that are going well or went well. Start to notice and appreciate acts of kindness, taking the love and the support that's available. And I just don't mean like noticing, like I mean noticing and steeping, like allowing the brain to catch it and then allowing your body to feel it. Bask in experiences of good luck, of serendipity. Learn to slow down. Learn to allow yourself to really enjoy being alive, enjoy the simple moments, and then truly allow yourself to take in your wins. Even if your wins feel small, celebrate them. Like celebrating that you did your yoga practice today, celebrating that you woke up and you journaled today, celebrating that you had a negative thought and you didn't let it shift your entire day, that you actually were able to catch it. It doesn't have to be 100K months. You can celebrate one new client. You can celebrate something simple that actually feels really good, even though it's simple. So doing all of that, that looking for beauty, that celebrating things that are going well, that taking in the good, all of that rewires and reprograms you for sweetness, for summer, at a fundamental level. So that's the work of this third level. Look for the good, recalibrate your nervous system to expect the good, take it in, get comfortable with it, start to feel safe with the good. That thing that I talked about, where it's like when things are too good, something's like, the fuck's going on? I'm like looking around for like the other shoe to drop. That thing, start to learn to feel safe with ease, safe with rest, safe with sweetness and simplicity and joy. Safe with the fact that it's working. Everything is always working for you and you're winning. You're winning all the time and you don't notice. Realize that you're winning. Start to feel the winning inside you, because when you do that, guess who you become? You become a winner. And winners are the people who create outrageous success in their lives. They're the one who create extraordinary results from that place of flow, from that place, because they have embodied the identity of being a winner. Your nervous system, your brain, your energetic capacity, everything about you becomes a winner. But it doesn't become a winner by celebrating only the huge things. You become a winner by realizing that every fucking thing I'm doing is me winning. Doesn't matter how small it is. So that's the work. First, safety. Am I okay? Am I safe right now? Second, missing experiences. What do these part of me who have been wounded, have been made to feel small, have been made to feel broken, not enough, unworthy, unlovable? What do these parts of me need to feel whole, to feel free, to feel safe being me fully, and to feel safe going after what I want and showing up in a big way? That's the second one. And then the third one, learn to feel safe and comfortable with the good, with winning, with ease and joy and celebration, with satisfaction. Learn to feel satisfied, because you cannot create the future you desire by being at war with the present. If you can't feel satisfaction now, you can't create satisfaction in the future. The seed always bears the fruit. By doing that, you teach your whole being that it is safe to receive, have, and hold more, and that it gets to be easy and enjoyable. Maybe not easy, easeful is a better word. It gets to be easeful. It gets to be fulfilling. It gets to be nourishing. It gets to be enjoyable. Once you do that, once you kind of rewire your nervous system to feel safe and to be primed for joy and peace and easeful expansion, at that point, your nervous system, your brain, your biochemistry will become your ally and your partner on your journey to success rather than a saboteur. Your identity will shift, and achieving, receiving, holding to what you desire will become significantly simpler and sweeter. And you will not feel that push, that pressure to sacrifice yourself for it, to sacrifice what matters most for it. My friend, you are literally the most powerful and peaceful force in your life. And your nervous system, this work, is the most powerful process I know to help you embody that fact and to help you live and actualize that fact. This is the inner work that makes all the work you do finally work. This is the neurology that mixed in with strategy unlocks everything. And I would love to share it with you in a deeper way. So if you found this training helpful, insightful, please share it. If you're on Facebook, tag a friend. If you're on YouTube, share the direct link to it. If you do that, you have my gratitude. I appreciate your help in bringing this work to a wider audience because I think it's needed, especially in this day and age. So that's today's training. And if you're ready to expand out of contraction and to actually repair and recalibrate your nervous system, your identity, your biochemistry, your energy, and your strategy for more so that you can achieve and grow and receive with ease and joy, then I would love to work with you. I would love to go deeper with you in this work. I would love to help you unlock your peace, your power, and help you anchor in expansion so that you can succeed massively in life, in love, in your leadership, in your work, in your wealth. And to help you do it in a way that's going to really nourish all of you, not just your bank account. It's about all of you. So in my program, in the work I do, we mix and marry neurology with identity work, with strategy to shift your current set point, to increase essentially your capacity to receive more, and to help you create something wholly new, completely new in you, in your life, in your work, in your leadership, and of course, in your income. My wish for all my clients is for them to be deeply anchored in an unwavering sense of clarity, of calm, of confidence, of knowing what they want and knowing how to get there and being able to execute, to implement, to show up from such a place of ease and certainty and power that they're able to create consistent results, enjoyable growth, and deeply supportive money. The work I will do with you will teach you how to hack your brain, how to shift your nervous system, how to recalibrate your energy level, upgrade your energy and your vitality, and how to really take control of your daily routine so you never doubt yourself, you never procrastinate, you never stay stuck in overwhelm, you stop overcomplicating the process and sabotaging your progress. We'll work one-on-one, we'll work in group. Every week, you'll receive a practice, an expansion practice, and a curated expansion experiment. And that will be the thing that will shift your paradigm and allow you to rewire and anchor your identity in the expansion state so that you can turn theory into real life results, so that you can turn just knowing into a real experience of being a completely different version of you and be able to experience the tangible rewards of that in real time as you reach your goals. So all the work I do includes one-on-one work, small, I call them my expansion incubators, small healing group work, and then practices that you get every week, and also expansion experiments that you will receive to really shift your identity and start to live a new way of being. I would be honored if you allow me to put my 20 years of experience as a psychotherapist, an expansion expert, a strategist to work for you. I would love to show you how marrying that neurology with identity and strategy is going to completely increase your capacity, not only for money and clients and visibility and authority, but also for joy, for ease, and help you create the results you want and you are working so hard for from a totally different level of presence. So if this speaks to you, we can start out by having a free enrollment conversation. And the link is in the description of this training. Essentially, I'll tell you all about the way I work and my programs. I'll tell you about the different options. I'll answer your questions, and then we'll pick what works best for you based on your needs, your goals, your budget, all of that. So if you want to have that chat with me, just click the link in the description of this video and we will get started. All right. I hope this was helpful for you. That's what I have today, this week. I'm sending you lots of love, and I will talk to you soon.